All right, so yeah, we might get a Kaiser rework very, very soon. Because earlier today, the dev team dropped a new poll in the official Blue Lock Rivals Discord. And at first glance, it looks like just a normal community post. One of those simple, pick your favorite character kind of things. But if you've been keeping up with the way the devs communicate, you already know that nothing they post is ever just for fun. Every time they make one of these polls, there's always a deeper reason behind it. And this one? This one, I mean, personally for me, practically screams upcoming reworks. So here's what happened. Today, a poll dropped asking everyone to vote for their favorite player from a list of characters. And at first you might think it's just a random popularity poll, right? But if you actually look closer at that list, it's made up entirely of styles that haven't been touched or reworked in quite a long time. Which, if you ask me, feels way too specific to be a coincidence. And yeah, as you can see right now on the screen, Kaiser absolutely dominated the poll. No surprise there. He's literally one of the most recognizable names in the entire Blue Lock series, and despite his ups and downs in Rivals, he's still one of the community's favorites. But what really caught my attention wasn't just that Kaiser won. It's that this poll probably isn't about popularity at all. It's about data. It's about testing interest before a potential rework. Because if you pay attention to how the devs have been doing things lately, there's a very clear pattern. They don't just drop reworks out of nowhere anymore, like they always run polls or community questions beforehand. They ask people's opinions, check who's still being played, and then start teasing things through small details like this. And that's exactly what's happening here. So yeah, I'm calling it right now. This poll might be teasing Kaiser's upcoming rework. And not just Kaiser, it might also be teasing a Bachira rework too. Now let's break this down. Kaiser being at the top of the poll makes perfect sense. After his last nerf, and we've talked about this in previous videos, his pick rate has been dropping non-stop. He's still solid, don't get me wrong, but he's nowhere near the meta presence he used to have. Before his nerf, you could easily find a Kaiser in every other game. Now, you can go multiple matches without seeing a single one, and for a generational tier style, that's honestly not a good look. And to be fair, most people actually agreed that his nerfs were deserved at the time. He was overtuned, especially with his Emperor Dribble stun and that insane Kaiser impact range. But even after they balanced him, it felt like they overdid it just a bit. Because now, he doesn't feel like Kaiser anymore. He feels like a downgraded version of himself. You can tell the devs didn't mean to gut him this hard, but they haven't gone back to fix it since. And this poll might be their first step toward doing exactly that. If we think logically, the devs included him in this poll for a reason. And since all the characters on that list were older, unreworked, or low pick styles, it's very likely that they're deciding which ones should get attention next. And Kaiser winning by a landslide basically confirms the community wants him next in line. So yeah, this is probably their way of asking, alright, you guys want Kaiser back on top? Let's see how much you really want it. Now the interesting part is that Bachira was also in the same poll, and while he didn't get as many votes as Kaiser, it still stood out. Especially because NL Bachira was recently vaulted. That means his current version isn't available for new players to obtain until the devs bring him back through a rework or merge. And when you connect that to this new poll, it lines up perfectly. We already know from Miro and Spax's earlier messages that Bachira is supposed to get merged with his NEL version in the future. So in my opinion, this isn't just a which character do you like more kind of thing. It's a priority poll. A way for the devs to figure out which character reworks to push forward next. And that brings us to the second possibility. Because I don't think it's only about reworks. It might also be teasing limited Christmas styles. Yeah, I know, that might sound like a stretch, but think about it. The Halloween event just ended. The next big seasonal update is obviously going to be the Christmas event. And every big event so far has introduced 2 limited styles. We got Reaper Sei and Demon Shadou for Halloween Part 1, Phantom Asagi and Blood Moon Rin for Part 2, and Skeleton Nagi for the finale. So, it's not crazy to assume they're already planning the Christmas batch next. And what better way to decide who gets a Christmas-themed style than by seeing who the community loves the most? It fits perfectly. Because if you look at the poll again, the top names, Kaiser, Bachira, Don Lorenzo, are all big enough to carry a themed release. Imagine something like Frost Emperor Kaiser or Winter Beast Bachira. It would make total sense as part of a holiday update. And to make it even more believable, Miro literally said before that they wanted to slow down on back-to-back reworks for a bit and focus on limited styles during seasonal events. So yeah, this could go either way, either a rework teaser or a Christmas limited teaser, or maybe even both. Now personally, I think it's going to be a mix of both directions, because if you think about it, this is the perfect setup for them to revive interest in both characters while also building hype for the Christmas event. They could rework Kaiser or at least start teasing his rework, and at the same time, release a limited Christmas-themed version of him. That way, both casual and dedicated players get something to look forward to. The same thing could happen with Bachira. Fix his base or merged version, then drop a limited version inspired by his monster theme, but with a winter twist. That's the kind of marketing strategy the devs have been using a lot lately, and it works. So if the devs really are planning to rework him, they need to make sure he feels like the Emperor again. That's his whole thing. Domination, pride, and power. Bring that energy back into his moveset, because right now, the only thing he dominates is the bottom half of the pick rate chart. And Bachira, well, he's in a different situation, but still similar in spirit. The devs already confirmed that his NEL version is being vaulted and later merged, which basically means they're starting from scratch to redefine him. So yeah, to me this poll is a massive hint toward what's coming next. If Kaiser and Bachira both placed high, which they did, it's only a matter of time before we see their updates or special versions appear. Maybe not this week, maybe not even next week, but definitely before the Christmas event ends. It just makes too much sense timing-wise. So yeah, that's where I stand on this. This poll isn't random, it's strategic, it's data collection disguised as community engagement, and if you've been following the devs' behavior, you can tell something big is coming for Kaiser and Bachira. Maybe even Don Lorenzo too, considering how close he was on the list. Anyway, what do you guys think? Do you think this poll is teasing reworks or limited styles? Would you rather see a proper Kaiser rework that brings back his Emperor dominance, or a Christmas-themed style that gives him a new vibe entirely? Let me know down below. Yeah, because honestly, either way, it's looking like both Kaiser and Bachira are about to get some serious attention in the next update cycle. That's all for today's video. Thanks for watching. Drop a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you haven't yet, and get ready. Because this poll might have just revealed the next major content wave for Blue Lock rivals. And trust me, it's going to be big. Peace.